There's a version of shopping that doesn't feel like a chore, and Podium in Edmonds is it. You walk in, Nick, the owner, greets you.
What's up, dude?
Massive Sounders fan. Probably someone you've already argued with or agreed with in our comment section at some point. And suddenly, you're 45 minutes deep into a conversation about the latest Sounders news, and you haven't even looked at the clothes yet.
Let me show you around.
And then, you do look around, and everything in there is the kind of thing you buy once and keep forever. Filson, Red Wing, Heritage, Taylor Stitch, Portuguese flannel, nudie jeans, wax London, domestic and European brands, built properly, meant to last. They're at 114 4th Avenue North, right in the heart of downtown, and Nick is going to take good care of you. LobbingScorchers.com/podium.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your first ever Lobbing Scorchers World Cup Watchalong. I am coming to you live from my new apartment, which I just moved into and is not very set up. But I got the streaming set up for this because it is World Cup match day for the USMNT folks, and we're going to rip a watch-along for it. You know, we were mapping out our coverage plans for this, and we realized, you know, we got stuff planned for the Australia game and a couple of the other games, but not necessarily for this game, one of the bigger games, the opening game. So why not fire up the watch along, get some people in here, hang out, watch the game together, and we'll see what kind of start the USMNT can get this World Cup off to together. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hope you have been enjoying the start of the World Cup so far. There's definitely been a couple things to talk about that we can hit before this game gets started. We are about 15, 20 minutes or so away from kickoff. And yeah, it's been a good start to the tournament. You have Mexico already getting a dub. You have Canada playing Bosnia and having to salvage a 1-1 draw there. So I got thoughts on all that for sure. But this is mostly, we're going to see, folks. We're going to see what the Yanks have got tonight. Obviously, the biggest tournament in the history of this program. And this game right here that we're all about to watch together is this the biggest game that this team has ever played? Because if you think about it, games like this set the tone, right? If you come out against Paraguay and you look like a bunch of jackasses out there, you look like the Bad News Bears, that's not good going forward in this tournament. Okay. So you got to come out, you got to get a good performance, and you got to take at least a point. You know, if they draw this game, I don't think that would be the most, it wouldn't, you know, chalk the tournament, wouldn't be the most disastrous thing of all time. But I think a win would go a long way for starting this tournament off on the right foot. And we'll see what they've got. We'll see what the golden generation can do. And I'm looking forward to it. We're just going to be watching the game together. I feel like it can be pretty informal here tonight. We'll keep track of the action. We'll react to the goals. We'll react to everything that's going on. But, you know, if there's dead zones and you guys got questions about, you know, the game, the tournament, the Seattle Sounders, whatever it is, we can kind of do whatever. But, you know, I did want to do something for this game because this is a big game. We're going to be covering the USMNT for sure throughout this tournament. I'm going to the Australia game as a, you know, credentialed media member at Seattle Stadium, or as I like to call it, Field. Going to the US-Australia game at Field. So I'm excited for that. But it starts tonight. And Paraguay is up first, so let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. Welcome in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you got any questions, takes, observations, or agendas throughout the match tonight, feel free to drop them in chat. I'll get to as many as I can. But let's start here with, why don't we take a look at the lineup? Does that sound good? I had that pulled up over here, but now I don't know where it is. Let's take a look at the USMNT lineup, see what we're working with against Paraguay tonight. I was looking at it very briefly before I went live, and there's nothing crazy in there, but let's take a look regardless. Let's see what the boys are lining up like tonight. All right, here we go. Right here. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, there you have it. There is your USMNT starting 11. In goal, you have a one Matthew Freeze. He gets the starting nod over Matt Turner. That kind of got decided a while ago, it seems like. So not a super big surprise there. But you've got your MLS representation there in the form of Matt Freeze and, of course, Tim Ream along the back line there. So all the MLS haters out there, get wrecked, get slammed, get ready to learn some Matt Freeze and Tim Ream. I think the biggest news here is that you got Chris Richards back, which that is big. That is big. Miles Robinson, Chris Richards has been hurt. Miles Robinson, he's been out there. He's been doing his best. He's been trying, but I think, to me, it looks pretty clear in these last couple friendlies that this team need Chris Richards back. I don't know. For whatever reason, Chris Richards is apparently a very integral part of this back line. So it's good to have him back out there. It is kind of, a World Cup opener against Paraguay. That's an intense situation to be thrown right back into in your first game off rip. But I would rather have him out there than not out there. And then, I like what I've been seeing from Alex Freeman in these last couple games too. I think that he has got just that kind of just over the top athleticism that can really come in handy at this level. And I thought he looked really good in the Germany game, especially. So no issues with the back line. Free seems fine. I think the other thing people were talking about was, you got Serginho Dest on the wing right here, as opposed to Tim Weah. So I can't say I'm outraged about that. I think Serginho Dest, I don't understand why people are mad about that. I think Serginho Dest is a lot more dynamic and exciting with more upside in this situation than Tim Weah. Is that just me? I don't know. I would rather have Dest in there. I like that call from our friend Pochettino. You got the McKennie Adams pivot thing in there, which that's fine. That's good. We all know that works. And then you've got Jedi Robinson. And I guess, I think people are kind of talking about the Dest and Jedi thing the wrong way. If you look at the FOTMob graphic here, they're listed up a line, but really the whole kind of point of this setup is that Dest and Jedi are that sort of very modern dual fullback where they're basically playing as a pure winger, but like a more defensive fullback at the same time, theoretically. So the fact that, people are saying, oh, well, why wouldn't you not put Dest right back? He essentially is right back. That's kind of how I see it. Then you got Malik Tillman, who, if I had a weak link to pick in this lineup, that would probably be it. But I do think he looked fine in the last couple games too. In fact, I thought he actually looked pretty good in the Germany game too. So this whole front three situation of Tillman, Pulisic, Balogun, all right, I think this is about the lineup that you would expect. Nothing shocking in here. Nothing that I have an egregious problem with, other than this lineup could use a little more Christian Roldan. If we had courage as a nation and as a country, Christian Roldan, Jackson Reagan, Jesus Ferreira, Jordan Moore, and they would all be in this lineup, but we don't live in a real country. We live in a fake country. So we're gonna just have to deal with Christian Roldan coming off the bench, but I do expect him to play tonight. Caleb coming in with the 5. He says, how was my drumming at Ballard and Peter Kingston got his sticks? Caleb, thank you for the 5, and I'm sorry that we did not go to the Ballard game, man. I'm gonna be honest, bro. It happened right as my car got totaled, right as I was moving, and it wasn't happening. So I am sorry though. I feel bad. I did very firmly commit to going to that, and then couldn't go. So I am sorry about that. But I will say this: we do have a plan to go to the Ballard game in a couple weeks for content. We're gonna try and do some vlogging, so we will be out there to up the bridges, support the bridges, and also I've been to my fair share of Ballard FC over the years. I've probably been to four or five of those games at this point, which isn't as much as I wish I had gotten to, but it's not like I've never been to any. But sorry we missed it, Caleb. I genuinely do feel bad about that because we did say we would go. And apparently Hunch is saying you did great drumming. So good job. Good job. All right. Yes, sir, Zach. That is walkout in progress. So that's our cue to get that lineup off the screen. And It is just about showtime, and we got a small little group in here, but it's a group. We got double-digit people watching the first Lobbing Scorchers World Cup watch along, so we take that. 13. Thank you guys for tuning in. Caleb, thank you for coming in with the 5. We're gonna have a good time here. We're gonna have a good time watching the Yanks. Let's see if they can make some history. Let's see what the boys have got. I forgot to actually bring up what I think is the most important thing that I need to see from this team, not just in this game, but in this tournament as a whole. Because this is a question that I have. When Nico and I were talking about this game, I didn't bring this up at all. I don't know how I forgot this. But what I'm looking for from the USMNT in this game and in this tournament is, can they make it through the tournament without an insane blackmail scandal? I don't know if it's been properly talked about enough that the answer to that question in the 22 World Cup, could they make it out of the tournament without a blackmail scandal? The answer to that question was no, emphatically. Emphatically, they did not. They emphatically did not make it out of the tournament without a blackmail scandal, which, when you're talking about the World Cup, FIFA, all that stuff, blackmail, bribery, sometimes those are part of the equation, but they shouldn't be as it pertains to the U.S. men's national team. Ideally, in any given World Cup, you want to make it to the end without blackmail. That's one of the main prereqs that I felt like after the last World Cup should have gone without saying. But clearly that was too much to ask. So I would say in that regard, though, we're off to a good start. There's been no blackmail in the friendlies leading up to this tournament. To my knowledge, there's been no blackmail, no scandals. So far, the first game hasn't started yet, so there's still time. But no blackmail so far. So I'm proud of the team for that. Let's see if they can keep it going. Gio Reyna is on the team again, so, you never know how that can go. But, as far as I know, Gio's been fine. He hasn't been throwing any tantrums in training. There's no parental blackmail, so we're chilling so far. The vibes are good. They played well in these last 2 friendlies. It's really just, it's about playing up to your potential in this situation. I know that this team can beat Paraguay based on how I saw them play in the Senegal friendly and the Germany friendly. But I also know that this team does have a propensity for, how do we put it? Not living up to the moment, getting embroiled in a blackmail scandal in the middle of the World Cup. These are things that have happened. So we're going to see if we've grown, not only as a player pool, but as a country. And this is our first data point. So it's exciting. It looks like the anthem is going on. I'm rolling no broadcast. I am the broadcast tonight. I'm going to be busting out my broadcasting chops. If you watched our watch along for the LAFC charity match for the Club World Cup last year, you know that I'm a very gifted broadcaster. So yeah, strap in. Thank you guys again for squadding up with me here tonight to watch this game. It's going to be fun. And I'm rooting for the Yanks. I think everyone knows I've said a lot of things about this team over the years. Did I make a video where I said that I officially renounce the United States and defect to Canada? Yes, I did. I did say that. I did. Said that a while ago. I say a lot of things. Okay. I said that. And I stand by, I stand by what I said and why I said it. It was at a particularly frustrating time with this team when I said it. But I think, I did say that. And I also can say that I want this team to do well, kind of selfishly on one level. Like, think about what would happen if this team busts a run to the semifinals or further. That'd be huge. And the more the game grows in this country, the better that is for Lobbing Scorchers and by proxy, me personally. So I'm rooting for them from that perspective, but also, I don't mind being proven wrong. I don't mind if they go out there and ball out in this group stage and drop a bunch of goals on these teams and look incredible and look like they're going to make a run. Happy to eat my words on all the shit that I've talked over the last couple of years. I would love that. Never have contended differently. So we'll see what happens. It starts tonight. Ian says I'm wearing the USA scarf that Keller signed 13 years ago when USA played in Seattle. Hell yeah. That is a sick item. Zach says FIFA is taking care of the blackmail for everybody. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not saying that I'm expecting there to be a World Cup with no blackmail. Like, in fact, I would venture to guess that there already has been some blackmail, like you're mentioning, from hopefully and ostensibly non-USMNT related entities. Okay. If other countries want to do a blackmail scandal, that's no sweat off my back. I'd prefer my country this time to not do that. That was again, I don't think it gets talked about enough, like how ridiculous that situation was. This show was not a thing at the time, but we would have had a field day with the blackmail scandal of 2022. That World Cup was considered, so everyone was like, this is the golden generation. This is such a big thing. And we had a blackmail scandal like 3 days in that like hovered over the whole tournament the whole time. Let's not do that this time. That's what I'm saying. I will say this too. I was watching Canada against Bosnia earlier, and it was interesting. I'll tell you my takeaways from that. Number one, I think my biggest takeaway from that was pretty not good from Canada. It wasn't. I didn't think it was. They were down 1-0 from the 21st minute to the 79th minute, and they got the equalizer. Kyle Larin tied it. He scored a very nice goal, and they had some good chances outside of that too. You could argue they could have had a couple more goals. So that wasn't a horrible result, and it wasn't like they didn't have any chances, but they missed a couple of really, like, they had Jonathan David missed one in the first half of that game where Jesse Marsh like lost his mind on the sideline because of how open a chance. The reason he's losing his mind there is because he knows, man, like the teams that actually do anything of note and of interest in this tournament, they take those chances. They take those moments, man. Like you can't be as open as Jonathan David was on that play and miss that shot and expect to win a game against a Bosnian team that I've been advocating for. And I thought that they lived up to kind of how I've been hyping them up. They are, man, have you ever seen a bunch of pissed off Bosnian guys and you tell them that there's an obstacle standing between them and World Cup glory? Because I would not want to play a game against said pissed off Bosnians. I really would not. Like they go hard. All right, we have kicked off in Los Angeles. USA versus Paraguay, World Cup underway. The US, it looks like Pochettino has instituted that thing where they just yeet it all the way to the sidelines and try and kind of corner them in to start, which, you've seen that a lot lately in the last like year or two. I feel like, not sure how I feel about it. But I do, I understand the logic. You're trying to pin him back right off rip, put him under pressure as early as you possibly can, away from your goal towards their goal. There's reasons to do it. I don't know how often I see it work like they want. I feel like in the Germany friendly, they tried that shit at the beginning of the second half and it like almost worked, but then they yielded a counterattack off it like instantly, which is part of the risk of that. So I don't know. It looks like a poach thing, but we are off and running. Group D play, United States of America. We got Tim Ream already getting a little mossed right there. Paraguay sending in a cross goal back out, but no harm, no foul. But a nice little moment for Paraguay and Miguel Almiron. What do you think Miguel Almiron's thinking right now? This is probably the most hyped he's been to play the game in a year and a half. Let's see what we got here. Tim Ream bodying a guy, number 9 in the box. You got number 8 sending the cross over Matt Freeze. That's a little nervy, but okay to start. And here we go. This is exciting, folks. It looks like the stadium has actually filled up a little bit. I wonder how much of that was, day of sales that they had to do after marking everything up. I don't know. I also wondering if Noah got into this game. He flew to LA today, I believe, without a ticket. And the next thing I saw was a post of him on Instagram saying, I have 9 hours to procure a ticket to this match. Can I do it? I'm not sure if he did. He could be there right now. Okay, we have a nice early chance from the U.S. Ball over the top there. Looks like that was Balogun in the 3rd minute. Long ball. Weston McKennie running onto it. He flicks the header on. Balogun runs onto it. He can't get any power on the shot, so that's saved quite easily. But I like the run from Balogun. I like that ball over the top. And now the U.S. again. You got Weston McKennie. Is Balogun offside there? He is not, apparently. Serginho Dest attacking from the right side, and now the flag does go up. Oh, man, I thought Balogun might have stayed onside there. The AR had to evaluate that one for about 30 seconds, but that is indeed offside on the U.S. But all right, so after that little early Paraguay half chance, you have a couple of nice sequences there. Balogun is offside there, just offside. Come on, let's stay onside, boys. Lock in. It's the World Cup. But I think that's a decent enough little response in the first 5 minutes here. Kind of a lively little start. You had Paraguay down there at one end, sending crosses across the goal, and then you have the U.S. with a couple nice little moments there. So maybe not as much of a feeling out process as I might have expected. But yeah, all scoreless inside 5 minutes in L.A. Kenny's saying the Canada game was the best 1-1 draw that he's seen in a minute. It was a good game. It was I was talking about this when we were previewing these Seattle matches, but I'm in on this Bosnia bandwagon, man. I'm in on this Bosnia bandwagon. Like, I think the issue that a team like Bosnia has is they're very clearly coached to play just all out all the time, no off switch, no breaks, which they're awesome at doing. They're really good at it, but it's pretty hard to play like that for as long as they try to play like that, not have your legs give out eventually. They're freakishly fit, you can tell that. And that's their whole thing. They're like, we're going to be the fittest team. We're going to run constantly, and we're going to be demonic on defense. We're not going to give you an inch of grass. Anytime you're on the ball, we're going to be coming at you. And we're also going to be real nice. If we have to get in that low block, we're going to be drilled at that. And that's pretty hard to beat. But they also, they have a good balance of having tactics that punch above their weight, but not playing like cowards, you know? And I respect that. These Bosnian guys, I'm telling you, they don't care. They don't care. And it's really fun to watch. And I think Canada, you know, they were able to gut out the 1-1 against him, to be fair. I just don't know about Canada. I don't know about Canada after that game. What they looked like to me was they looked like a team that plays some good footy and can play some good attacking footy. But like Jonathan David, look, like that was pretty bad, like all around. And Tawny honestly missed a couple of chances too. Jesse Marsh benched Kyle Aaron for Tawny. They usually start Kyle Aaron, I feel like. He benched Kyle Aaron for Tawny, and Tawny biffed a couple of chances too. Their strikers were bad news bearsing today. And they only scored after Kyle Aaron subbed in, as we see a little replay of Chris Richards with the clearance there. Nice play from Chris Richards and his return to the fold. Still 0-0, 7 minutes into the match here. I would say if I was given my take on the first 7 minutes, maybe a little too frantic for what the US would want in the opening of a World Cup group stage opener, but they are on the attack now. You got, it looks like Brendan Aronson attacking from out wide. That's a nice move. And there it is. It is in. It is in the net. That is a goal for the United States. 7 minutes into the game. It looks like Weston McKennie put that ball across the goal, and it might have taken a deflection off for an own goal, but that is the opener. The United States have scored. USA, all 8 of you watching, give me the American flags in the chat. 1-0. That counts. There is no VAR. I don't think. I knock on wood. There is no VAR to be had on that. That looked all the way clean. I'm sure we're going to have to delay the match for 27 minutes to see, but let's see what we got here. We got Weston McKennie. This is a great individual play. He's going to moss his defender right there, spray the ball out wide. This is Brendan Aronson splitting 2 defenders right there. He lays it off to Weston, and that is an own goal off of Paraguay, number 16. Oh my God, the ref cam on Brendan Aronson. God, the ref cam is so sick. Ref cam, greatest invention, greatest thing that they instituted of this sport in years. I love the ref cam. Oh wait, that wasn't Brendan Aronson. What am I talking about? That was Christian Pulisic. That makes a lot more sense. Brendan Aronson's not starting. Got them confused. I think Aronson is 11. Pulisic is 10. Give it to him. I got to hand it to him. Good play. Good play by Christian Pulisic. And that is a huge goal inside the first 10 minutes, guys. Inside the first 10 minutes, the U.S. is up 1-0. Christian Pulisic, not Brendan Aronson. Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie. Little tandem action there to create an own goal for the first goal for the USMNT at the World Cup. And we're off and running, and, we'll see how the rest of this game goes. But I mean, I'll say this already, man. Like, when can you think of an iteration of the USMNT? Oh, man, as another chance right there. That has got to be a yellow card, and it is on Paraguay's number 4. Let's see the replay on this. It appears that he hacked down Pulisic, and Pulisic was about to make a run into the penalty area. Man, Pulisic is kind of on one right now. That guy hadn't fouled him and taken that yellow card, he was going to be in out wide. That is indeed a yellow card foul right there. And Pulisic is going to have to get used to that. That is basic. Any team that plays the US, that's what they do. They foul the shit out of that guy. So this is a yellow card foul for Paraguay, and this is a dangerous opportunity. You got Tillman and you got Jedi standing over this. Who takes this? I hope it's Jedi. But this is going to be a dangerous set piece, and it is going to be Jedi on the take. That was not a. They tried to slide it over and pull a fast one, but now Alex Freeman with the cross in there, not a bad look. Now it's Tillman back on the other side. And finally out for a U.S. throw. So the U.S. is now camping out in the attacking third, knocking the ball around, looking good. This is an actively good start. Folks. I don't think you could have actually drawn up a much better start than that. Because a game like this where, you're favored and you feel like you should win, that's the type of game you never want to have lingering at 0-0. The longer this had stayed 0-0, the more that would benefit Paraguay right here. So that is a huge goal because they also now have to chase the game. They can't sit back like they were probably planning on doing. And another good look here. Looks like Balogun got free on the left there. He sends in the cross. It's cleared out, but another good run, another good look. The U.S. attack is kind of humming right now. A through ball right there from Pulisic that's cleared out. But again, a nice run, a good idea. You got to like what you're seeing so far from the boys for the first 12 minutes. You got the Paraguay coach on the sideline. He is not happy with how things are going so far. So if you see the opposing coach look like they just showed that guy look, things are going pretty well. As the U.S. now spring it out to Jedi Robinson again, recycle possession. They're going to keep knocking it around. 12th minute, 1-0. 1 0. Good stuff so far. Another foul right there. Looks like Tillman going down this time. Yeah, that was Tillman taking that foul. Paraguay already looking like they're getting a little frustrated. They've already taken one yellow card. He brings his studs across the Achilles area right there. That arguably could have been another yellow card, but no such luck. It is officially ruled an own goal, looks like, for that opener. I don't think there was any question about that, but no World Cup goal for Weston McKennie, unfortunately. But, man, team looks good so far, guys. Team looks good so far. Pulisic on the attack again. Tried to lay it off for Adams, and now Paraguay going the other way. And are they going to hit Tyler Adams with the yellow card here? I don't think so. And now we've got the shot of Infantino taking it all in, enjoying the fact that he doesn't have to be sitting at a press conference getting grilled by the BBC. This is much better, isn't it? 1-0. 14th minute. Let me know what you guys think so far. Leave your thoughts in the chat. I got no American flags in the chat so far, guys. Come on. Not the biggest turnout I've ever seen, but I'm glad I'm doing this anyway. This is for the diehards. I already saw the channels that actually cover the USMNT, and they got a lot more people than we do. But we have passion here. We have passion on the Lobbing Scorchers. Watchalong. Hopefully, you guys have been able to get out in the city a little bit. It feels like that the World Cup fever is finally taken over, as we have a kind of a half chance from Paraguay there, but that is well wide of Max Friese. Their number 19 looks like he was campaigning for a corner kick right there. He's not going to get it. That is going to be a goal kick for Matt Friese. And of course, he was absolutely delusional. I love when they argue that emphatically when they're blatantly wrong. I respect it on one level because, you got to work the ref. But like that right there, he was just passionately arguing about something that he was provenly wrong about on replay. Own goal, man of the match so far. It was a pretty nice own goal, though. It was one of those, that was not an own goal that just comes out of nowhere. It actually nicked Tyler's foot. What nicked Tyler's foot? The goal? I'll have to watch it back. Poor Miguel Almiron, man. You're toiling away at Atlanta United. You think going to the World Cup might give you some new life. You get banned on 7 minutes into the match by your own teammate. That's tough. Almiron trying to sell a foul on Dest here. That looks like a dive to me. Oh, the claim for the corner. Okay, didn't it? Okay, I was wrong, I guess. I was wrong. Righteous indignation from Paraguay's number 19. I thought it looked pretty clearly like it didn't hit his foot, but I admittedly was not watching all that closely. 16 minutes into the game here. US up 1-0. You got Tim Ream trying to... Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go, folks. This is a wide open look. You've got to cash that. Oh my God. What a chance for the USMNT. Another really well-worked sequence. That one made it all the way out to Serginho Dest. Let's see what we got here. That is Jedi to, I couldn't see that, but Balogun with the layoff to Dest. Pretty bad first touch from Dest. He has a little bit of a better first touch there. He probably has a wide-ass open look from a kind of tough angle, but they squandered the chance in the end. But I'll tell you what, this has the look of a game so far to me where if the U.S. just kind of keep playing roughly like this, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. This Paraguay team looks kind of shell-shocked right now. As the set piece is headed back across goal. Oh, nice from Jedi. And then Chris Richards up for the header. He gets hit in the head. It looks like there was a collision here, so there might be a stoppage of play here for a head injury. But another good chance for the U.S. Hopefully Chris Richards is all right. We just talked about how important he was. Let's see what happened here. The corner kick comes in. That's Freeman sending it back across the area. Weston laying it off for Jedi. Jedi puts the cross in, and then, Chris Richards just goes up against the center back right there, and they bonk heads. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That is not what you want. Hopefully Chris Richards is all right here. He's still down. Both of them are getting looked at. But another good chance for the U.S. I haven't looked at what the XG is yet, but I feel like the XG is cooking. They got a goal to show for it. So, man, I got to say, we're coming up on 20 minutes here. This has been the best start I could have thought of. Get a goal within the first 10 minutes. You're kind of pummeling this team right now. They don't look ready. They don't look ready for the smoke. I'll be honest. Paraguay doesn't look ready for the smoke. You were able to punch him in the mouth. Landed the first blow. Here we go. Here they're playing the Chris Richards thing again. A little similar to the play where Danny Musovski got his tooth knocked out a couple weeks ago against the LA Galaxy. But it looks like Chris Richards is okay. They're taking him to the sideline. Really, man, if God love Miles Robinson, okay? I don't need to see him in this game right now. I don't need to see that. That's on a list of things that I need to see. That's not on it. It's not on it. But I think I looked like Chris Richards was okay there. Looked like he was okay. Kind of a scary moment. Bonkage, head bonkage. But we're back in action. 1-0 to the US of A. 19th minute. Own goal with the go-ahead goal. No blackmail. No blackmail. 20 minutes into the game and no blackmail. That's what you love to see. They have more goals so far in this tournament than they have blackmail scandals, which, if you recall, once again, at the 2022 World Cup, there was actually not that big of a difference between the number of goals that the USMNT scored and the number of blackmail scandals that they had. What did they have at that tournament? Like 2 goals to 1 blackmail scandal? It's not the ratio you want. I can't emphasize it enough. Paraguay is getting rattled. You can see it. You can see it in their eyes. These guys, they were really, their whole goal in a situation like this is they couldn't have happened what just happened. They couldn't have that. They needed to keep the 0-0 as much as they could and then try and nick one however they could. I really do think, there was talk about this matchup and how, Paraguay is like a sneaky team. I think I see Australia as more of like the sneaky team that could give the US trouble in this group. I think based on what I know of Paraguay, which is admittedly not a lot, but based on what I know of them and what I've seen of them through the first 20 minutes of this game, they're not that good. They're not that good. They're not bad. They made it to the World Cup. But Golden Generation USMNT has another good chance there. Man, the squad is styling right there. That is a jumping back heel from Malik Tillman, who I called the weak link when we were looking at the lineup. He's looking pretty good. Everyone's looking kind of good. Great start. Again, I don't really have any notes so far. The only note I would have is they could really have a second. They could have a second and a third. They could have 2-3 goals right now, like based on the quality of the chances. So if they keep doing this, they will get another. They just keep doing this, they will get another. But I do think, man, the nice thing about getting the early goal is now there is no impetus, there's no onus on you to be playing like Real Madrid crossed with the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, you don't have to necessarily do that. If you have your chances to do that, you should do that because you can do that to this team, I think. But if they want to sit back and just let you knock it around and take time off the clock? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And you're having so much success attacking against them. It's like the best of both worlds, if you will. One goal on 0.0 XG. Is that own goal really a 0.0 XG? Damn. I feel like that. I don't know what XG that is, because the Richards header wasn't a bad chance, and then I guess the Dest one I could see not being a very high value chance. Even he looked like he was so open, but it's honestly fine right now. Like, this is fine. Paraguay, they look rattled. They look overwhelmed. They're getting pissed off. They're getting frustrated. They're taking yellow cards. They can't stop you in attack. You just have to not give up any idiotic goals, which that has also been a challenge for this team at times. But all told, you really could not have drawn up a much better start. But, okay, come on, let's get this second goal. They're dying. Paraguay is dying to give up this second goal. They are they're pining for it. They want that lead doubled. That deficit doubled. So go give it to them. US on the ball now. Chris Richards venturing into the attacking third. He appears to be fine after that kind of scary collision. You got Pulisic cutting in from the right side. He's going to send the cross in, and that is to absolutely no one. That's going to be out to a goal kick. But I do like what I've seen from Pulisic so far. And on 24 minutes, we have our first hydration break, which I like these hydration breaks. They finally, after years, were like, you know what? We actually can't accept being the only sport that doesn't do commercials during the game. We can't accept that. We have to find some way. We have to find some way to monetize during the game, which it's just like, that's one of the things I like about soccer over a lot of the other sports, is that there is no ads like during the run of play like this, usually. But you gotta respect the gumption to like make it about player safety. No, it's hydration break. You got to have the hydration break for player safety, which we have never done unless it's like extreme heat. We're going to just implement that for every game in the name of player safety. And, just, okay, we're going to do that. And then now then we can just put commercials in. Why not? We're doing the hydration break for player safety anyway. Well, let's just run some ads. Okay. Run your ads just all game. Why don't you? Okay, just run them. I don't know. Soccer's supposed to be immune from this, man. Is that a am I being woke? Is that a privileged complaint right there? We should not be doing, if you're going to do the hydration break for player safety, you should not be allowed to run the ads during it. You, as like a token of sincerity that it's actually about player safety and not about money. Anyway, hydration break underway. 1-0 USMNT. Own goal with the finish. US looking good. Canada only got a tie. So if you can win this game, and here's the other thing, if you can just win this game, it does, it takes quite a bit of the pressure off, because it's with this big format and like 8 third place teams advancing, it's really not hard to like get out of it's even easier, I would say, than it's been in past years to like get out of the group. So we'll see. Hunch says looking good, could be better. Won't wink at a bit of luck. I would agree with that. I as much as I like some of the attacking movements that that they've put out there so far. The lethality, the precision, they're looking like the Seattle Sounders out there. You know what I mean? Just slicing you up, slicing your defense up, getting to the final action. Absolutely bottling it. There's been a couple of those. But I would qualify the attacking footy that we've seen the U.S. play so far as, I kind of try to bucket it into like, what's the level that you got to hit to just play at that level, and then you can probably be safely expected to generate some really good chances and score. I think they are playing at that level right now. So let's see if they can do it. We're back from the hydration break, and the U.S. is back on the ball. Weston McKennie, he is threading Pulisic through. The Yanks are on the attack again. It's Pulisic again. He finds is that Dest or Tyler Adams? And then that is Balogun, and that is another goal. Another goal. That is 2-0 to the U.S. Fuller and Balogun this time with the finish. That is 2-0. He was onside. Oh, he was offside? Did they get him for it? Oh, cowardly. Let's see this. Oh, it wasn't even on him. It was on Pulisic. No, he was offside. They got Pulisic on that, not Balogun, right? That is deeply unfortunate. That does indeed wipe away what would have been a great second goal. I mean, look, guys, this has gotten one-sided already. Like this is not you can be in these situations where you're playing a team that you think you're theoretically way better than. And when it's, a World Cup opener, the tournament, it can get cagey, it can get nervy. This does not feel or look like that at all. This looks like one team kind of running on the other team. So the situation right now, what are we? We're right on 30 minutes. The situation right now is all you have to do is maintain this level, which like you're exerting superiority right now. All you have to do is maintain this level. And I think part of what maintaining your level in a situation like this is being smart and opportunistic with like where you expend your energy, right? Like I said, you don't need to be going crazy right now. You're way better than this team. You are taking it to this team. Have they had a chance on you? They did, like right after kickoff. They had that sort of one little cross across the goal mouth, but that wasn't really anything. They barely spent any time in the attacking end. I mean, let's look at these possession stats, folks. What are we at right now? The U.S. is at 71% possession. Little 70-30. I mean, what is this? Minnesota United. All right, another chance here. Pulisic, across goal. Balogun. This time it is a goal. Wave that one off, VAR. Wave that one off. You're not going to. He's onside. Balogun gets his goal right after the half-hour mark. It is now 2-0 to the USMNT. God damn it. I really like this team looks incredible right now. What are we watching? Damn. Is this partially Paraguay being bad? Maybe. But how many times have we seen this team play teams like this as we get the replay on the goal again? That's another great play by Pulisic. You can see the ref cam right there. And then Balogun with the finish. And the Yanks are flying in Los Angeles 2-0 in their World Cup Group D opener. No chance for the goalkeeper. Solid finish by Balogun. He looks sharp. He looks dangerous. Pulisic looks good. The USMNT is balling, folks. They are balling. It's almost like there's almost an element of this that is like frustrating to watch because it's like This was clearly in you guys. But, I get maybe sometimes it just takes a while to get there. Maybe I just need to accept that. U.S. on the attack again. Weston McKennie sends in the cross. That one is cleared, but the USMNT are beating the shit out of Paraguay right now. This could be 3-0. But a very deserved 2-0 lead. I can't really poke many holes in this so far. And I guess it's kind of nice to see, like, one thing that I was already preemptively ready to be annoyed by was like, okay, like you actually looked really good against Senegal and against Germany. And I just had this thought in my mind. It's like, okay, you looked really good in those games. I know they're going to come out against Paraguay and just look like the same USMNT that they were back in 2022, or at a lot of times, frankly, in this golden generation era. Like once, what happens when the cards are actually on the table? I mean, the cards are on the table right now, and they're killing it. So, no, this is good. This is good, and I think that a lot of positives so far. No blackmail again. What are we at? 34 minutes. No blackmail. No blackmail scandals. Okay, and 2 goals in the first 34 minutes of the World Cup. It's about how it's about as good as you can draw it up. Wade, what's up, man? He says, "Sup, Ari? Let's go, US. You planning a pregame for the Australia game? Look forward to being in the stadium. We'll see. Like I said, I am credentialed for that one, so I'm going to be at that one in a working capacity. There will be no watch along for that one, unfortunately. But maybe I'll be down there beforehand. I have not really explored the World Cupified version of the city that much yet. I did just only get my credential, like picked up the physical object this morning. So hopefully I'm going to have some good access to stuff. I'm going to try and get as much content for you guys as I can with the access that I do have. So it's going to be fun. US on the attack again here. God, they are way better than this team. Like, whoo. But this is yes, thank you. You are way better than this team. Show it. Take it to them. Score goals on them. Like, this team doesn't do that stuff. So to see them do it in this first game here, very encouraging. And, I think this is even more encouraging because as good as the last 2 friendlies were, as Pulisic, oh my God, he just totally mosses his defender. The cross is in again. Balogun tries to get the header on target. Can't that time, but Pulisic, I mean, this guy, this right back can't guard Pulisic. He can't. He's in hell. He's in absolute hell. Serginho Dest with the cross in now. The U.S. is just blammoing crosses in on Paraguay. They're fighting for their lives out there. I kind of feel bad for the Paraguayans right now. This does not look fun to be them. There's nothing that looks less fun. Like, soccer looks like and is the most fun, or among the most fun with sports to play. But when you're playing it and you're getting the shit kicked out of you, it looks like the most not fun. Like the CONCACAF Champions matchups where MLS teams have to go as sacrificial lambs to altitude in Mexico. That looks so not fun. That's like that is the hell that Paraguay is in right now. They don't want to be out there. They're like, dude, I wish we hadn't qualified. I don't want to deal with this. And that's what you want them to feel like. For me, the only question at this point is, can they sustain it? Weston McKennie with the cross now. That one's going to get deflected, but only as far as Tillman. And that's going to run out for another corner for the U.S. on 37 minutes. Already up 2-0. Tillman was trying to get the shot off there, but that is blocked out by Paraguay's number 15 for the corner. It is going to be Tillman to take this. Let's see what the boys have got planned up set piece wise here. What'd you see on film? You guys hired a coach for this? See what you got. See what you got. How about a third right before half here? How about a third right before half? Tillman on the corner. He is going to send it into the mixer. And that is almost a third goal. I think that was, yes, that was Chris Richards. Man, Chris Richards. Oh, that is not far at all from a third goal off the corner kick. Barely wide. Nice header by Chris Richards right off the fro. Dude, he looks good. Thank God he's back. I don't know if the team looks this good if Chris Richards isn't out there. I think he might be that big of a difference maker for this team. That's apparently the case. Real close to getting the third goal. 38 minutes gone now. Serginho Dest just took one off the head. Looks like he's all right, though. The U.S. is cruising. It looks like, is this Brad Pitt? Who is this? I don't know who that was, chat. Who was that? I obviously know it's someone like very famous, but he was wearing shades. Who was that? Now we got the sideline shot of Pochettino. You'd have to imagine he's okay. Rob Lowe. Thank you. What did I call him? Brad Pitt. Yeah, it's just the same idea, right? Didn't he kind of have the Fight Club look going? Rob Lowe's kind of looking like 50-year-old Tyler Durden right now, which is a compliment. Tyler Durden. Fight Club, anybody? Movie of my generation. Is Fight Club, is that dating myself at this point? Or is Fight Club still a thing? When I was growing up, Fight Club was like, that's all my friends would quote. Paraguay has the ball now. That's pretty rare for them this first half. The U.S. press forcing them into a long ball. That's going to be out to Tim Ream. And back to Matt Freeze. Defense hasn't had to do a whole lot so far, but they've done what they needed to do. That's fine. Header back by Tim. Now that you have the multi-goal lead, what I was saying earlier, I think is even doubly true. Like, you do not need to be. The onus is all on them now. At 2-0 in a World Cup game. And that's not to say you play conservative in a situation like this. It's more just that you don't have to have your hair on fire. Chill. If they let you knock it around, knock it around. Every second that comes off this clock now while you're up 2-0 is a win. Balogun going down now, and he's making a meal of it, probably. But see, this is now you can do shit like this. You can do shit like this. They can barely tap you in the back of the leg, and you can roll around and take 30, 40 more seconds off the clock. Like this team was bred from CONCACAF. Okay, you think they don't know how to do that? Do a little bit of that. I love it. All right, Serginho Dest on the ball now. This Paraguayan guy just has absolutely no chance at staying with Serginho Dest. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm having fun watching a U.S. team just have the type of players where, like, the guy on the other team just has no chance. Serginho Dest, when he's in the zone, like, he is that type of player. Who's staying in front of him? Not number 6 on Paraguay on that play. So I think, in addition to the goals, in addition to the individual sequences, they've been fun to watch. I think, like I was saying, the thing I'll be curious is if they can sustain this, and something that they do like to do in situations like this sometimes is give up a stupid goal to just make it, still see out the 2-1, but it's just way unnecessarily stressful and difficult. That could always happen. So we shall see. Where are you guys watching the games from? Just at home, I would imagine. Yeah, probably. At the at-home crowd. I gotta get me out into the city. I was down there a little bit today, and it was taken over. You could feel the buzz a little bit. Pulisic called for a foul there. He did not like that call, but Paraguay has not really been able to keep the ball. Let's see what's the possession at now, folks. Let's see what this possession is now at. It has gone up 75. I am not gonna lie. They are beating the shit out of this team vastly more than I expected. I thought this was going to be like a pain in the ass type of game. I thought this was going to be like 0-0 until the goddamn 54th minute. And then they finally nick a goal off a set piece. And then they give up a stupid equalizer to Paraguay. And then right at the end, like they get a 2-1 game winner or something. That's sort of the game I was expecting. That's not what's happening. They're pretty much across the board smashing on these guys. So credit to them. Credit to them. You all know that I would be the first one clowning on them if they were embarrassing themselves in the entire nation right now, and they are not doing that. As Weston McKennie in and now, is that a third? Oh, it is so close to a third. Oh my God, Weston McKennie threads it in. I don't know how that. I think the goalkeeper makes the save there, but the U.S. is still on the attack. Alex Freeman now driving at the defense. These guys can't stay in front of him. But another great look for the USMNT. Could have been a third goal right before the half. They're knocking the ball around in the attacking end again. What a first half for the old Yanks, folks, in their Group D opener at the World Cup. Coming up on halftime. And see, this is what I'm talking about right here. You're coming up on halftime. You're up 2-0. You just got pretty lit. You had like a really good chance. This is fine. Slow it down. Knock it around. Don't let anything stupid happen. Be professional. You're at the World Cup. Everybody keep your heads on straight. You're playing a team that has absolutely no chance against you. Don't give them a lifeline. Don't let them back into the game. As Chris Richards called for the foul there. I don't mind that. Slowing it down again. More celebrity sightings. We got a guy in a Yankees hat. It's funny because I know these people are all so famous, and I'm like, wait, who is that? Rob Lowe? Who's that? 45th minute now, about 30 seconds from first half stoppage time. Paraguay playing a long ball. Tim Ream's going to deal with that all day. Okay, Tim Ream. Okay, Tim Ream slipped. Spoke too soon there. Tim Ream slipped, but it's okay. It's okay. Crisis averted. Crisis averted. Paraguay's kind of looking like the ones with heavy legs right now, too. God, they're in absolute hell. This is awesome. 5 minutes of stoppage. Let's see if the U.S. can add a third. I mean, look, if it keeps going like this in the second half, this is going to be a 3 or 4-0 ball game. Like, I don't think there's, unless there's some crazy bad variance luck, but like, they're slicing this team up pretty good. I'll be curious if the XG actually reflects how good I feel like the chances have been, because there have been a few of them where they're kind of blundering it right at the end, which sometimes can affect your XG. But needless to say, Jedi Robinson now, he's going to send in the cross. Goalkeeper is going to claim that one easily. But we are in first half stoppage time with the USMNT ahead of Paraguay 2-0. A rip-roaring, red-hot start to the tournament for the old United States. We're going to have to do some discourse at halftime. We'll do a halftime man of the match. Halftime thoughts. Get your observations. Get your takes ready. It's going to be flowing. Are people watching this on the Sounders party barge? I would think so. I would think so. I would think that is the team. This is the team that has the most interest. But I don't really know. I haven't been on the barge yet. Has anybody been on the barge? I haven't been on the barge yet. No one went on the barge, I think. I know our video guy went on the barge. What is this? Who is that couple? Who is that? Chat, who are these people? The celebs are out at this thing, man. Which I guess, for the World Cup. But that's what I'm saying, man. The first U.S. team, if it's this U.S. team or another U.S. team, the first U.S. team that makes a run to like the semifinals, or if we're dreaming big, make a run all the way to the final, I really think like the country is going to go crazy. Like the celebs will be all in on it. Like the players on that team will be considered legends. I was thinking about this because I was watching the little pregame mini doc they did on. It was about Sun Heung-min in South Korea. And they were talking about how in 2002, South Korea got 4th place. Oh, Weston McKennie again. Can he, he bodied off the ball there, but that is picked off right back off by, is that Tillman? Yep, that's Tillman. Wins the ball back in the attacking end. U.S. still on the front foot as we approach halftime here. But just the way that they were showing on this mini doc, like the response that the South Korea team in 2002 that got 4th place, like that 2002 team, there's still gods there. Still. That was like 25 years ago at this point. So whatever U.S. team does it, and I do think there is going to be a team that does it, one day. Could still be 30 years away, but it will happen one day. Whatever team does it, it could actually be what like Greg Berhalter always talked about, like changing the way people see U.S. soccer. And to be honest, watching those last 2 friendlies and this game, the first half of this game, the way you change how people see U.S. soccer is you become not the mid-major, the team that's punching above your weight, but the team that is one of the best, the team that takes it to other teams. And that's kind of what this team has looked like as Balogun is through. Balogun is through, and that is another goal. That is another goal from Balogun right on the stroke of halftime, 3-0. And that was a banger. Holy shit. What a goal by Fuller and Balogun. How many years did we talk about this team's... Oh, Katy Perry. Thank you. How many years did we talk about this team's number 9s? A lot of years. You want some Seattle Sounders type discourse? This team, the striker discourse, we were doing the striker discourse years ago. Balogun comes in. I've been skeptical of him at different junctures, but oh my God, give me the replay. Give me the replay on this one. Let's see what happened here. This is Tillman sending him through. He is onside. Get the fuck out of here, VAR. Don't even think about it. He's onside. Destroys 1 defender, destroys 2 defenders, top corner. God damn, that's a good goal. Balogun is kind of on one right now. Yeah, this is going to be the good angle right here. Give me this slow-mo. Excellent goal. Excellent goal, and that is a half. That is a half in Los Angeles. The USMNT, 1, 2, 3 goals to none over Paraguay. Wow. They just vaporized that team off the field. What? Like that was not close. That wasn't close to close. That was not a soccer game. That was not a competition. That was a beatdown. They just... Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. Bust out some halftime stats. Then we can dish some halftime takes. I'll show you guys this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at what I'm looking at. That is what you call domination. I mean, let's go down the list. 8 shots, 4 on target, 75% possession, 327 passes to 107 passes for Paraguay. Paraguay had 25% possession, 107 passes. Nothing. 93% accuracy from the U.S. on 75% possession with 3 goals. Folks, I mean, what are we talking about? What are we doing? That was, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm low-key pretty surprised at what we just watched. I didn't think it was going to look that good. I would have understood if it didn't look that good. The first game of a tournament like this, I think the first game of any tournament or the first game of a season, like shit can always be weird. So the fact that they came out, like, you know, this Paraguay team is clearly not very good. So you could say that this doesn't count because of that. But what are you supposed to do? I say this about the Sounders all the time because, you know, God knows the Sounders have the brigade of every win. You have to come up with the reason why it doesn't count. That counts. When you are playing a team that you're way better than, what you're supposed to do is look like that, exert that superiority. And if you do that, then the win counts, even if it was against a bad team. That's what people like don't like to admit. When people look at a game where Seattle beats, I don't know, who's the worst team in the league right now? Pretty much what I've learned about Seattle fans is there's only 3 or 4, maybe 5 teams in the league at a given time where a win counts. Right now, it's like Nashville would count, Miami would count. Would anyone in the West count? Because people were saying the Vancouver thing didn't count because it was CCC and the San Jose game didn't count, even though that was twice. But like literally, if you go from places 4 down on the table at any given time, those automatically, like if the Sounders beat them, it doesn't count. But my point is that they could be playing Sporting Kansas City, who they tied this year, which is sick. That was C. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They were supposed to go out in that Sporting KC game and beat the shit out of them like the U.S. just did to Paraguay, and they didn't. Right? The U.S. just did. Like you can, I would be blinded by hatred to not admit that after what we just saw. I mean, that was, they smoked that team. They did. Okay, so Miami doesn't count now. Okay. You know, I think the Leagues Cup final, most people agreed that counted. Maybe not though. I don't know. Man, that third goal, okay, I mean, they're going through the replay of all 3 of these goals right now. I mean, this is good stuff, man. Weston McKennie, let's talk about man of the match for that first half. It had to be Weston McKennie, did it not? Or, I mean, Pulisic has I guess it could be Pulisic too. I would give man of the match. Oh, look, you got the troops celebrating. Look at the troops. Look at the troops, man. Supporting the country. I thought Pulisic was excellent, but I think my man of the half would be Weston McKennie. This second goal right here, I mean, Balogun's just eating. Here's the question. What minute do we get the Christian Roldan cameo? He is going to play in this game. This is the other thing where it's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't care about this at this point, but it's like you had a lot of people who spent years talking about how guys like Christian Roldan getting called in is specifically what's holding this team back from being better, right? Years. They spent years saying this. They've spent the last decade saying this. He looked like he really held them back in that half. He really held them back. The fact that it's not Tanner Tessman on the roster instead of him, it really clearly matters a lot. That's neither here nor there. We don't need to get into all that. I'm happy to get into it all that though, because it's so stupid. By that same logic, should he not get credit for that performance? See how that works? It's what happens when things work both ways. I'm talking to the bot community right now, not any of you guys. I know all 12 of you watching agree with me on that, but it's worth pointing out as we get set to watch Christian Roldan come into this game in the second half, contribute positively to the team as the team gives the absolute belt to Paraguay. I'm going to take satisfaction in that. I am because obviously with USMNT fans and Twitter and the bots and all that, there's a pathological inability to admit when you were wrong. You can't do that. If you're a USMNT bot, admitting you were wrong is like, no. That's not something that you can do. Ever. It's impossible to look at a situation and be like, hey, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was being stupid. You can't do that. But what's going to happen if this team keeps playing like this is you're going to see the mental gymnastics just like, I think it might actually break the fan base. If the team ever actually got this good with guys like Matt Freese and Christian Roldan playing big roles, Tim Ream, 46-year-old Tim Ream. A lot of narratives toppling, getting challenged at the very least. You love to see it. No, let's get Christian out here. It's 3-0. I don't think there's definitely no reason whatsoever to empty the tank in this game against this team. Not to get cocky, but I really would not mind Pochettino emptying the bench at like 60, assuming that, I wouldn't mind leaving that first 11 into the second half a little bit because they just beat the absolute daylights out of Paraguay. So let them keep doing that a little more. I'd be happy to watch that. But like, get Christian out there, get Gio some run, get Balogun out of there, get Weston out of there, get Tyler out of there, just get Christian in there, get Berhalter in there. Like, let's not make more of this than it needs to be. You're beating the shit out of these guys. Let's just get through this half. No injuries. Everyone chill. Try and get another goal or two. Make this a nice little 4-5, but let's get some guys out there. Let's get some guys some run. We all go home happy. I already am home, but yeah, you know what I mean. I am competing against the U.S.'s opening World Cup match. Correct. I feel blessed to have as many people in here as I do, considering that fact. We're doing this one for the diehards, and maybe some people will watch it back. They'll want to see the goal reactions or whatever. But I'm glad to do it because it's kind of nice to talk it through as I'm watching what I'm seeing here. Because I feel like we're all seeing the same thing right now at the same time. I came into this game not really knowing what to expect at all. Like I said, I expected a much cagier game. I expected a game where it took a lot longer to get going. This thing was a bloodbath from the literal first kick of the game so far. So, yeah, I'll probably hang around post game at least for a little bit. Hunch, if you want to jump on and dish takes, that's fine. We'll see. Maybe the audience picks up after the match and we can become the post game spot. But I also am not necessarily hankering to stream for like 4 hours. So let's talk up 3 second half subs and when. Yeah, I was just going over that a little bit, but let's go over it again. Let's take a look at the bench. Pull the bench up right here. Let's take a look at the bench. Here we go. Hunch, Oh, my bad. I was saying that I want to see this. I want to see the subs come sooner rather than later. I'll start by saying that. And I want Christian out there. I want Berhalter out there. I want Pepe out there for Balogun at some point. I wouldn't mind seeing Gio get some run. I wouldn't mind seeing Aronson get some run. I'm kind of a Brendan Aronson guy. I kind of decided that recently in the last couple weeks because there was some debate over Brendan Aronson's position on the team. And he was a guy that I mentioned, you know, he could have been a guy that you drop for like a Diego Luna, for instance. But you know what I like about Aronson is like his work rate is just so freakish and so reliable. I feel like you kind of actually like the whole argument against him maybe is like his stat sheet production hasn't been very good for the US recently. But I think at the international level, you need a couple of these guys that are just like dogs, workers, just never stop running. And he's that guy. So long way of saying I actually don't mind. I didn't mind the Aronson inclusion at all. I don't, and I'd be fine seeing him get out there just because like he can soak up those minutes where you just need guys to just be running and working hard and hounding the other team and being a pest and talking shit. Like he's gives you that Paul Rothrock energy, except Paul Rothrock gets more stats than he does. And honestly is a better version of the same player, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't feel passionately about this. I don't think you need to leave this starting 11 in this game that much longer. That's just asking. Like the one thing that could harsh the vibes for this is if someone like gets injured when they don't even need to be out there. That would suck. So let's just, you know, you can't control everything. Shit happens. But like you don't need like Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie, like I don't think need to be out there in this game past 60. We'll see how the second half starts. Maybe Paraguay come out inspired. Maybe the coach just gives them the most inspirational halftime pep talk of all time. And they come out flying and the US is in hell and they're under it. If that happens, maybe you wait longer to sub. Although maybe that's a reason actually you would want to sub earlier too. Frankly, I would also be pretty surprised if that happens. I just think there is clearly a greater quality differential between these two teams than I anticipated. I did not think they were going to do it up like this. Like that, dude, they're showing this Balogun goal again. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is a disgusting goal. Was expecting Paraguay to be hacking us and try and intimidate with physical play. Yeah. I thought they would be CONCACAFing their brains out. Whatever game plan. See, this is why the 7th-minute goal is the greatest thing that could happen to any team that's favored. Because Paraguay probably was planning on doing that more, North Sound. But once you get bammed on 7 minutes into the game, that does not do shit for you. That only works if it's 0-0 or if it's tied. If you're chasing the game, you can't do that. The 7th-minute goal blows up their entire game plan. Everything they trained, everything they worked on, everything they were scouting up on film, everything is gone in 7 minutes. And that's the best place to be, because if you were not able to score on them that fast, like they would be resorting to that stuff. I don't even blame them. I don't even say that like as a derogatory thing. It's just like they, in all likelihood, anytime you have a situation like this where you're looking at like 75-25 possession splits, You're looking at how dominant that was. The underdog is probably going to try and pull out some stops in that scenario. But when you bam on them 7 minutes into the game, they can't do that. So, all right. We are back. Second half is kicking off. It looks like there is a halftime Berhalter substitution, but we are back underway in Los Angeles. I did see that Berhalter came on. Not sure about any other subs, but that's good. That's good. Hopefully it's for I was going to say Westerner Tyler. I see Tyler out there. Sebin for Pulisic. Okay, see, I like that. I like that. Good coaching, Pochettino. Pochettino is a good coach. That is something that I believe to be true at this point. Like, regardless of what I think of how his tenure started or a couple of the results or, maybe a couple of the player pool selections he's made, I just think there's such mounting evidence that his ball knowledge is kind of off the charts. I was talking with Nico about this on Monday, but like the fact that he selected Berhalter and Roldan as his backup center mids. Yes. Thank you, Pochettino, for not listening to the bots and for, in fact, actively antagonizing the bots. He antagonizes the bots more than I do. He does. He goes on these rants where they'll be like, Mauricio, what do you think about the game coming up? And he'll go, a lot of people on social media tell me not to call in Christian Roldan and Sebastian Berhalter. Those people are fucking idiots. And the entire press pool is like, we did not. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to go off about this for 25 minutes because I feel that passionately about it. I sit over here watching those press conferences and I'm like, yeah, speak truth to power, brother. I've been saying this shit for 5 years and getting bullied on Twitter before I quit Twitter. So the fact that there's a guy who actually, like, Berhalter couldn't say that shit. He couldn't because he played in MLS and was an MLS guy and an MLS coach. So he couldn't have that optics, that appearance of that he was favoring MLS or he thought higher of MLS than other leagues or higher of MLS than other people think he should. He could not come out there and say it. Whereas Pochettino just doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm going to say what I think about this player pool and I'm leaving for AC Milan immediately after the tournament. So what do I give a shit? Anyway, I like Pochettino. I'll say it. Have I made fun of him a lot in my life? Yes, I have. This is like my mea culpa right now from all the shit that I've talked the last couple of years watching this team play like this in the World Cup. Now I have to sit here and be like, damn, all right, get wrecked, me. But that I always said that I was happy to get wrecked on this. And I doubly don't feel bad because I think most people felt the way that I did about this team at one juncture or another. They're a frustrating team, man. But not today. 3-0 on Paraguay in the 49th minute. The Paraguay judge just did have one of their first legitimate attacking movements of the game. There's a giveaway there. Their number 8 is going to take the shot here, but Tim Ream blocks it out. That is going to be a Paraguay corner. He really needed Pochettino, I'm assuming, to send the message to our top players that it only works when they play with max effort and passion. That is something that I will say that he has done a good job at too, is the whole, playing for the badge thing that we always talk about. That guy's got to be offside. No? Okay, no. Another dangerous little moment for Paraguay here, but that's eventually dealt with. No harm, no foul. Still 3-0 in the 50th minute. Doesn't this team look like it's playing for the badge a lot more than it used to, like in 2022? This team has not always been a play for the badge type of team. It hasn't. So I give Pochettino credit for that, and I like his whole vibe and persona. I think is just funny. His press conferences where he antagonizes the bots. That is a dive from Miguel Almiron. You do hate to see that, but he has been known to do that. Oh, they gave that to him. Maybe not a dive. I don't know. Okay, looks like that is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if I'm not mistaken. Great guy. Famously great guy. All right, we got a Paraguay set piece here. This is actually kind of dangerous. This is the type of play that can throw a curveball in the games like this. So let's see if the U.S. can just deal with this. This is one of those moments you got to not let anything stupid happen. Cross comes in. That is up in the air. Jedi heads it away. Not fully dealt with yet. And it looks like we have some sort of whistle. Oh, Jesus. Are they... VAR check mistaken identity? What is that? What? Mistaken identity? There's no way that we're reviewing a man's identity. We can't be doing that. If we're reviewing a man's identity, if we're VARing that, who he is to his core, we've lost the plot. The game is gone. What is chat? I don't have the broadcast on. What are they mistaken identity VARing? What is a mistaken identity VAR? That is a dive. That is a dive. Is that not a dive? Are we reviewing the dive? Is he going to say, after review, number 10 of Paraguay dove? So is that a yellow to simulate for simulation to Almiron? Is that what just happened? I did not know you could VAR that. I don't know if I like that you can VAR that now. Although, actually, I take that back. Hell yeah. Get slammed, Almiron. You fucking dove. I like how he's arguing it, too. That was agreed. You know what? I'm going to change my stance on this. I like that. I feel like that's a new thing. The mistaken identity review is sick. Hell yeah. And took away the Ream card. Yes. Mistaken identity VAR for the win. That is actually, I like that because clear dive and Tim Ream getting a yellow on that affects the game. He has to change how he plays. It's only the 52nd minute. Starting center back, he has to change how he plays if he's on a yellow for the rest of the game. And that yellow was total bullshit. So that is actually the mistaken identity. I don't. Why do they call it that? It's not mistaken identity. It's he dove. I guess he dove isn't like a catchy VAR category. He blatantly, that was shameless. That was shameless from Miguel Almiron. Come on, brother. It's 3-0. You play for Atlanta United. We all know you're down bad. The horrible giveaway from Paraguay here. Oh, Weston. Oh, I see what was that Tillman? Tillman. I see what he was trying to do there. Alex Freeman looking good. Son of Antonio Freeman. Did you guys know that? They would love saying that on the broadcast. Son of former Green Bay Packers receiver Antonio Freeman. Every time he touches the ball. That's kind of where I'm at, Hunch. That was awesome. Screw that. Don't give him that. That's one of those dark arts things that works all the time. He sold a yellow on the starting center back there. That was completely bogus. Completely bogus. I am pro mistaken identity reviews. I'll say this. If I played for Atlanta United, I might do some shit like that too. I might. Not above it. Mark Clattenburg, is that the rules analyst? We now bring on Mark Clattenburg. He will explain probably nothing. We're all going to be more confused after listening to Mark. All right. Weston McKennie absolutely cooking. Out wide. Loses the ball there, though. And Paraguay is going to have a seldom seen. God, the U.S. press is relentless right now. They win the ball back again. "56 minutes gone in Los Angeles. U.S. up 3-0. Honestly, man, kind of torn. What do you guys think? Do you want to pump a couple more by these guys, or are you down to just sit on the 3-0? I feel like, when there's a situation where goal differential and goals scored or whatever, but can be the tiebreakers, you kind of don't want to ever let up. You just want to pump as many in there as you can. Especially right now, you have a chance to. I think stay aggressive. Try and pump at least one or two more past these guys. Calculated aggression, but don't just sit. It's early enough in the game where you're clearly superior enough. Oh, as Jedi absolutely skins a guy. God, this is still just going. Weston on the other side. He's going to lay it off for Tillman. He takes the shot and it's blocked, but another excellent attacking sequence from the USMNT. It looks like we have got Paris Hilton in the stands like it's 2002, folks. She was famous for a reality show when I was about 10 years old. That had to be who that is, right? 26 Hilton. Didn't know she was still relevant like that. But apparently she is. We got Rob Lowe. We got Katy Perry. We got Paris Hilton. It is the early 2000s celebrity row up in here at SoFi. Let's see what celebs make it to Seattle. I want to see all you celebs who are showing up for the World Cup. You better be in Seattle. You better come on Lobbing Scorchers. Okay? We have guests. What if I get Rob Lowe on stream, guys? Would you call in for the Rob Lowe show? All right. Looks like Serginho Dest making a foray into the box. They really... the Paraguayans can't stay in front of anybody. I'm making myself feel old. I just dropped a reference from the Paris Hilton's reality show from 2002. Okay, I remember. People don't forget. I remember The Simple Life. Drew Carey. The Price is Right. All right, Jedi Robinson with the corner in there. Now we got a yellow card to Tyler Adams. I think that's Tyler Adams. I guess that's fine. It's not ideal to have your captain getting yellow cards in a 3-0 game against a team that's not good, but it's never going to be adversity free. Okay, well, you are older than me, Maximum. Sorry. If you were 21 watching The Simple Life, I'm not saying you're old, but that must have been a fun time to be 21, though. I was talking to someone about this, I feel like there's this sweet spot in the late 90s, early 2000s, which is kind of when I was growing up, where society actually was kind of cooking. And it all got chalked. But it was just like this sweet spot where like technology hadn't like totally destroyed everything. But it was still, there's still enough of it where it made stuff fun. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good take, but take me back to like 99 to like 08. I feel like that was like the sweet spot. Those were good times. All right, just past the hour mark for the USMNT's group stage opener. Thank you all for tuning into the Lobbing Scorchers watch along. I'm going to need you, everyone who's watching right now, I'm definitely going to need to like the video because surprisingly not the biggest turnout of all time. So I could use the likes. I could use the views. Pre 9/11, but high speed internet. Yeah. Like that area where we all switched from freaking dial up to high speed. God, that was nice. Playing Halo 1 on the original Xbox with the giant hamburger controllers. Dude, I would go to my friend's house who was allowed to play all the video games that they wanted and set up the TVs for Halo 1 landing. Oh my God, take me back. All right, looks like we got some substitutions coming down the pike. You got some guy coming on for Paraguay. Sanabria, their number 9, is going to come off. They're Paraguay. I'm sad to say for my Paraguayan friends. That's looking like about a wrap for Paraguay. That they did not put up. Did they put up any? Have they put up any resistance at all in this game? Like I genuinely can't think of one like phase or sequence of resistance that they have put up. But look, you got to credit the Yanks for that. You do. They are soundly handling a team that they are clearly much better than, and that is refreshing from the USMNT. As another chance comes in right here. Oh, he just needed a runner, but that is a good ball from Serginho Dest. Jedi Robinson bodied off the ball now, but US still getting after it. And I'll tell you what, they are in the zone where if they keep pushing for it, they're going to get a third or a fourth or a fifth. At a certain point, once it gets to like 75, 80, you probably take off the gas significantly. 3-0 in this game is fine. That is more than fine. Yeah, see, you were the okay. Balogun, I think, was trying to pick out a runner across the box. I think the US is getting like a little, they're feeling themselves like maybe a little too much. Because what's happening is they're slicing this team up and getting in positions to score goals and create great chances. And then there's a little bit of like I need to show I'm Steph Curry going on. Overcomplicating things, maybe like that one right there. Why pick out the crashing runner? Why not just pick out someone in the middle or just like smashing in there and try and get it pinging around, create some chaos? He was going for the Sports Center top 10 highlight. That's fine. That's fine. Have some fun out there. You're ahead 3-0 in a World Cup game. Have some fun out there. Maybe you'll get another goal or two, but either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it would be nice to have another goal or two. Don't get me wrong. But like, frankly, this result puts the U.S. in a great place to advance, even if they don't get another goal. And as I say that, Paraguay with a dangerous looking opportunity, but that one is blocked. Good stuff from the defense there, and a distance shot that is not going to trouble anybody from the Paraguayan number 8 in the 65th minute. Paraguay is showing some signs of life in the last couple minutes here. They've had a couple
Couple of chances. Their winger right here trying to crash in. But no dice in the end. This happy fan, he caught his match ball. He's feeling good. '66th minute, 3-0 to the United States. I wouldn't mind them slowing this down for the rest of the game, to be honest. There's just no. Sometimes, like, even if you're beating the shit out of a team, it's like you have to gauge what is to be gained from trying to act like you're the Harlem Globetrotters. In this case, I would say very little, if anything. But it is, it's tough because you've literally just been beating this team like a drum for 65 minutes straight. So it's probably hard to like flip that off switch. Brace from Fuller and Balogun. Little contribution from own goal. Weston McKinney on the ball again right now. He's been a monster. Another good look from Serginho Dest right there, but that one's cleared away. Looking, Balogun on the hat trick. He wants the hattie. How many times are you gonna have a chance for a World Cup hat trick? All right, I've seen enough. Like, let's get the Christian Roldan thing going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going because it's gonna make a lot of people unhappy, and it's gonna like ruin their euphoria of the 3-0. So I support it. Chris Richards with the slide tackle. 68 minutes gone now. Kind of a lot of time to go in this game, honestly. Oh, and okay, and we got to get the hydration break in. Yeah, let's do the hydration break. Lay your ads on me. Lay them on me. Getting kind of tired. Might not be on the watch long for all that long post game. Probably stick around a little bit. See if anyone has got some takes. But we are in commercial break right now. It looks like we got Will Ferrell, most famously known for being a part owner of LAFC. Marshawn Lynch, most famous for being a Super Bowl winning running back for the Seattle Seahawks. That's a dynamic duo in this potato chip commercial right here. Happy Marshawn is still getting his bag. Marshawn is I was watching the new season of Euphoria, and he's like in it. Like, it's not like a guest appearance. He's like a character. It's like, I didn't know Marshawn was like an actual actor. Oh, it was Trudeau. It was true. Wait, was that Trudeau with Katy Perry? Is that what they were saying? Wow. Why is Trudeau at this game and not the Canada game? The hell? He's at the USMNT game and he skips the Canada game? Okay, so they're together. That is a power couple. Trudeau at the US game, not the Canada game. I'd be pissed if I was Canada low key. I know he's not like the prime minister anymore, but it's the principle of the matter. Your country needs you, Justin. Why are you at our game? Unemployed. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we are back from the hydration break. Dude, this playing ads during the game is that
I'm willing to look past a lot in the name of like it's FIFA, whatever. They're just gonna do what they're gonna do. But this shit is bad, dude. You can't. Like I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull a fast one. Any little tiny way they can get to make more money, they're gonna take it. But you cannot be taking, like, we just missed like game time right there. What if someone scores a goal? What if you ever broadcast where there's 100 million people watching in the final and you have an ad and a hydration break and the game is back going and someone scores a goal? Are you just hoping and praying that that doesn't happen? Because if that happens, you're going to look fucking stupid. Sorry. It just really bothers me for some reason. Soccer's supposed to be sacred from that. I don't like it. It's one of the things that bothers me about it is that it is not be for player safety. Like, come on. Like, it is not. It is not. It is so they can run ads and make more money off those ad slots. That is, the player safety thing is, they are making that up. That is, there is 0.000000000% chance of these hydration break ads that is about player safety. 0. It was funny too. Did you guys see Infantino's press conference where they were asking him about like the denied visas and stuff? And he gave his answer was a temple massager. It's a temple massager. But it was also like, I understand why they gave this guy this job. He's so good at like saying something that sounds like he's saying something, but he's not really saying anything, which to be in that role, you need that attribute, and he has that. He's gifted at that. His answer, when you actually broke it down, was not good, but it was delivered in a way where you could be like, man, this guy's kind of cooking. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. That's why he has that position. That's why the oligarchs tabbed him, because they were like, we need someone who can really sell this even when it's going to be hard to sell. He is that guy. I'll say that. It's 70 degrees in LA. I'm telling you, man, they're going to get bit by that. That is stupid. Like, if they miss a big goal doing that, they're going to get fried. Maybe they have it figured out, so it's like they have it on delay. So if something important happens, maybe that's what it is. But here then becomes the question, do you trust FIFA to execute that? Because I decidedly do not. But hey, you know, getting proven. Oh, here we go. This might be it for Paraguay. It's on. Yes, that's a goal. That is a goal for Paraguay. 73rd minute. They pull one back. See, man? See? I really don't think that is going to matter as far as the U.S. is probably still going to win this game. But that is like, man, like, you guys do love to do that. You do love to do that. Let's see what happened here. Who's at fault? Who's at fault there, chat? Looks like Alex Freeman might have got pulled a little too far over. I don't know. But that's stupid. That's needless. The team should not be scoring a single goal on you. There's no like we've all been watching the same game. Is there any reason at all why the team that's better in this scenario should be giving up a single goal to like, I get that any team, especially in the World Cup, can bam in you on any time, but like I would say that the frustrating thing about concessions like that is it's just like doesn't need to happen. Oh, that is a bad giveaway, though. U.S. might have a fourth right back. That's Tillman, and oh, he bottled that. Oh my God, that's pretty bad from Tillman. That's pretty bad. This is not a good sequence. This is the worst sequence of the game for sure. That concession, and then to put that shot right at the goalkeeper. Could have had the fourth right there. Wasteful. It's not that big a deal. But it's just like, dude, like against good teams that you're going to have to play in this tournament, that's the shit that gets you knocked out, man. Team still looks really good though. They're still flowing in attack. They smashed on this team, but in this next 10 minutes, this is where you don't close up shop, but you got to be careful, very selectively aggressive right here, because if they get another one in the next 10 minutes, that's the only thing where you start to go, oh wow, like the actual win might be in jeopardy, which has not felt like that for basically 1 second of the game, and still to me does not feel like that, even though Paraguay just scored. US on the attack again now. We got Jedi attacking from out wide. Can we get Christian Roldan on the field, please? Can we get him on the field? '76 minute. US just kind of knocking the ball around now. This is fine. They're not really they're not really pressing. They're not really pressing. They are a little bit, but yeah, knock this around, take some time off the clock, have a conversation, eat a sandwich. Matt Freeze almost getting the ball knocked off him right there, but it's all good. It's all good. A 3-1 here, totally acceptable. That's fine. It should be a 3-0. You can't always get what you want. But the only thing that could sour this is, honestly, if they concede again and it's 3-2, I'll be like, whatever. But I think that would take a little bit of the shine off, given how dominant they've been, which has been extremely dominant. Here we go. Tillman spraying it out wide. Oh, my goodness. Was that Tim Weah? Tim Weah stinging that one. I don't remember when he came on, but Tim Weah is in the game now. He stings that one. Ooh, and that was going on target. That was going in. That was going in, and the goalkeeper tips it over. That's going to be a corner. No? Okay, I'm tripping. He did not tip that. I thought he saved that. Either way, not a bad look from Tim Weah. Shout out Tim Weah. Shout out George Weah, his dad. Former president of Liberia. Did you guys know that? Fun fact. Pulling up on the 78th minute. 3-1 now. Does feel like US is kind of just in see the game out mode, which I got no problem with. Don't concede this a second goal. Okay. I don't care if you score again at this point. You're coming up on the 80th minute soon. Don't concede the second goal. And here we go. Giveaway here. US back on the counter. They've had a lot of space to work on the counter in this game, and it's been pretty cool. That's got to be a yellow card. Alex Freeman brought down by Gomez. That is going to be a yellow. Yes, it is. He is arguing it, but he shouldn't be. Actually, that could be a mistaken identity review on Tillman right there. I wouldn't argue with a mistaken identity. I want another round of subs. Let's go, Poach. Empty the bench a little bit. Why is Christian not out there 10 minutes ago? Almiron's off. Almiron was pretty bad, dude. I think he might just be cooked. Like, I hate to say it, but it might be a situation where he's just cooked. Like, the most notable thing I remember Miguel Almiron doing in that game is diving so hard that he got a mistaken identity retroactive VAR yellow. 80th minute. don't know why Gio's not out there. All right. Free kick for the U.S. lined up here. Let's let Sebastian Berhalter take this. Jedi's lined up over it as well. But yeah, they're going to have Berhalter take it. Cleared away. U.S. back on the ball, but now it's one back by Pepe. Tillman on the ball now. He's going back down towards the corner, and he tries to do a little trick where he wastes time in the corner, but he puts that out for a Paraguay goal kick. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. 2026 World Cup Group D opener, USMNT, 3-1 leaders over Paraguay. If you're still tuning in at this late hour of the game, go ahead and drop a like on the video, sub to the channel. Sauce us a follow on Instagram if you haven't. Our IG's kind of blown up since the World Cup started. All platforms. Yeah, get Tillman out of there. Here's Gio. Gio for Tillman. I love that. Pochettino cooking again. Good sub. I would have liked that a little earlier, to be honest with you, but 82nd minute, it's fine. Get Gio some run. Great. All for it. No blackmail. 82nd minute, no blackmail. Gio Reyna on the field. I don't want to speak too soon, but no blackmail yet. It's his, early phases of his appearance, so we don't know, but to the best of my knowledge, no blackmail. Sorry about that, chat. Excuse me. Getting over a cold, but I think I got like allergic to something over in Roosevelt where I just moved. Maybe it's just the weather warming up, allergies. All right, what happened here? We got number 19 for Paraguay going down for a foul. He's lining up a free kick. All right, this is big set piece defending chops here, boys. Come on. Matt Freese coming off his line. That was sketch. Chris Richards wins the header, and that is dealt with. And it looks like a foul on Paraguay or an offside. He is so far offside. Oh, wait, that wasn't the guy who hit it, though. I don't know. Whatever. It's a goal kick. It's a goal kick for Matt Freese. 84th minute now. Let's see what the old stats are looking like. Possession advantage back down to 66. I would say Paraguay's looked noticeably better in the second half. Not the greatest footballing demigods I've ever seen. But they got a goal. They've had a couple of better chances. They've had a little bit more of the ball. Miguel Almiron did dive, but he's off the field now. So I think, it's probably ultimately good for the U.S. to have to play against a team that's actually giving them like competition for some portion of it, which in the first half they did not receive at all. Gio Reyna on the ball now. And now Paraguay has the ball. They're off on the counter. And they will bring it back in the 85th minute. It is close out the game time, folks. I think at this point, you try and just see out this 3-1. Screw it. Tim Ream tracking back as I say that. Pretty good game from the CBs. I thought Richards looked really good coming back. And, we were giving Tim Ream a hard time earlier this season because we were campaigning for Jackson Reagan to get a look, which, I'm biased, but I still think Jackson Reagan should have gotten a look for this team. But I've come to the conclusion that Tim Ream being one of the starting center backs on this team is fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's not who I would start, but I would be starting Jesus Ferreira in this game. So yeah, who I would start is not necessarily the greatest barometer of who should actually be starting. So I understand that. And it seems like Tim Ream, he's well liked as just I'm 40 and I've been actually doing this for a long time and I'm going to be a mentor to this golden generation. That's fine. But I'll tell you what, the Gold Cup roster after this World Cup that does have Paul Rothrock and Jackson Reagan on it and Jesus Ferreira, it's going to feed families. All right, Tyler Adams going up for the clearance there. What are they saying? Are they saying they fouled this guy here or that he got fouled? Okay, he got fouled. So it's going to be U.S. ball, 87th minute. What do you guys think? 3-1. First half was about as dominant as it gets. Second half, less so, but the second half, I think the second half was fine. Other than they conceded a goal that they shouldn't have. This would look a little better if it was 3-0 instead of 3-1. But you were probably not going to make it through the entire tournament without conceding a goal. It's going to happen. And if it was going to happen, I'd rather you be up 3-0 when it happens than not up at all or only up 1-0 or only up 2-1. You know what I mean? If you're going to concede one, doing it when you're up 3-0. Not the worst time to do it, especially because, you do goal differential and goals scored. I think, that does matter for tiebreakers and stuff. But you cannot really ask for a much better result than 3-1 in your opening game of a World Cup. I don't care who you're playing. You had, oh God, did you guys see Andrew Carleton's tweets? Should we just dive in? Do you guys want to see Andrew Carleton's tweets? Because they're really funny. Do you guys know the lore of Andrew Carleton? Is the question. Because Andrew Carleton is one of the funniest characters in MLS history, unintentionally. As the U.S. has a good chance right there. That was Pepe on that one. That sailed pretty high. Ooh, not far away from Pepe. You just needed to keep that a little lower. Andrew Carleton is the Atlanta United homegrown who was really bad, first of all. One of the worst players I think I've ever seen that actually made it professionally. So bad. So bad that he washed out of the USL. So awful player. Don't know how he ever got any hype at all. Never got close to making it. Got in trouble for partying before MLS Cup 2017 or 2018 with Atlanta United. So he couldn't go to the parade. I don't think he played in the game because he clearly didn't give a shit about the team or them or MLS Cup. Ended up washing out of the USL. One of the most egregious, laughably failed playing careers I could think of. But then he literally stormed the Capitol. I know I say that as a joke a lot, so-and-so, he's the type of guy who stormed the Capitol. He literally, on that day, was posting on Instagram, I'm off to the Capitol to fight this injustice. He was at the Capitol. He stormed the Capitol, got cut from Atlanta United, washed out of the USL, legendary sequence of events. And then, but now he's like trying to be like a grifter account, basically. And so he was complaining. He was like, why do all these trash countries get to be in the World Cup now? Now that they expanded it, you're just seeing teams, lose by a lot in the early rounds. Okay, you mean like every tournament ever? Like, yeah, it's a little maybe more skewed in that way with 48 teams now instead of 32. But who cares? Let them in the World Cup. Who cares? Like, even if they get the crap beat out of them, it's still cool for them and their country to be in a World Cup. So why not let them have that? But also, like, brother, like, do you know how a tournament works? You know how a tournament works, where the lower seeds play the higher seeds kind of vibe? You ever seen March Madness? Would you say it's pointless for the Retrievers to play against Duke or whatever? Because they won that game once. I just thought that was funny. All right, we are in second half stoppage time. 7 minutes of it. I don't know why that's necessary. I feel like we could have gone with less than 7 minutes here. I would argue 1 minute would have sufficed, but it looks like US is going to get out of this with a 3-1. I don't want to jinx it, but they definitely are in line to get out of this with the win as Jedi sends in the cross. What a performance. Honestly, like, I can't really hate. I would love to be able to, but that was good. The second half was not as good, but it was still, it was fine. It was pretty good. Like, the first half was so good that the second half didn't need to be that good. That's the beauty of giving yourself a cushion, man. Like, yeah, you conceded a stupid goal in this game. That sucks. You had scored 3, so it doesn't matter like that much. This is a phenomenal result to take in your first game. This really, this makes the odds of getting grouped. Look, I'm never going to sit here and say anything is clinched before it's clinched. But not only does this result itself lessen drastically the odds that would happen, but also the way they played, I think, to me, drastically lessens the odds that would happen. I think this team might just be kind of good. They might be actively good. That might be what we're looking at, just like a good team. They still got to prove that. I don't think 3-1-ing Paraguay means, oh, okay, we're going to the semis. I wouldn't say that. But didn't this feel... This feels like something that a US, we could not count on a US team to do something like this against inferior competition, like pretty much ever. Pretty much ever. Even the Dempsey Bradley era that we all remember so fondly. Like, I feel like those teams, they were grinders. They weren't like we're gonna go into a World Cup match and just smash on you like this team just did. Like, they didn't, that was not their modus operandi, really. They were like, we're going to roll up our sleeves, make this a dogfight. We're going to fuck you up. And I love that team for that. But they were not a team that if I was going into a World Cup match against Paraguay, I would feel super confident that they were going to impose their will and win the game easily like this team just did. So you couldn't have asked for much else. I would say if we're doing positives and negatives, we've talked about a lot of the positives. The concession was not great. There's also a little bit of wastefulness going on. I would say that. A little bit of overthinking it before the final action. They should have had a couple more goals. They could still, they could still get one here. They get one right here. But at this point, they're not even trying to. This is where you knock the ball around. You take this 3-1 and you call it a day. A successful first day at the World Cup office for the old Yanks. Yeah, no, I mean, I got to tell you guys, I said after the Senegal and the Germany friendlies, like, that I was impressed with how this team looked and how they were playing. I don't see how you could watch that first half and feel any different. That was very good. That was comprehensive. And it's against a team that's probably worse than we thought, but it's not. I don't like anyone that's at the World Cup. I don't take lightly, man. Like, this counts. This counts. I don't want to hear about how it doesn't count because it's Paraguay. All right, Weston McKennie running onto this now. Oh, he almost is able to pick out, I think, Pepe in the middle there, but the defender is able to knock that one out. It is a little frustrating they don't have at least another goal or two. It's a nitpick. It's a nitpick for a 3-1 in a World Cup group stage game, but I think the XG merchanting in this game was such that I can look at this and say, do one of those takes of like, if they just keep playing like that, they're gonna be fine. If they play like this all tournament, we are all gonna be not embarrassed as a nation. And that's our goal here. Aside from, being the team that changes how people view US soccer. Also, please don't embarrass the entire United States. It's a lot of pressure they have on them, but it's a lot of pressure all these guys have that are on these teams, But, all right, Hunch, if you want to hop on and dish some takes, say your piece in the chat, we can do that. If anyone else does want to hop on, feel free. Wasn't anticipating there would be super high demand for that, but if there is, don't be shy. But if not, I'll probably stay on for a little bit post game here as it's about to end, and then take off in relatively short order. Maybe have a little Friday night. US closing it out with one more little run here. Oh, and it's a fourth. It is a fourth. It's Gio Reyna on the last kick of the game. Oh my God. What a way to cap this one off. It is 4-1 to the Yanks. And not only is he not embroiled in a blackmail scandal, he is scoring golazos for the USMNT. What a goal from Gio Reyna. Another well-worked sequence right here. And Gio, see, that is a sick shot. That is the Jordan Morris special, actually. You see that outside of the toe action? Some really good goals in this game. Really good goals. Pochettino is hyped up. I'm hyped up. What I was going to say is that, like, as it goes final right there, that's going to be a 4-1 final. Like, there was some discussion over Gio's inclusion on the team. Along, like he and Brendan Aronson were two that were, I feel like, debated a lot, especially with the Diego Luna thing. But, like, my logic for defending, or at least like understanding why you would call in Gio, even with the blackmail scandal, even with the fact that he's always hurt at the club level, even with the fact that he hasn't like really broken out as a superstar with the USMNT ever yet. He is the only guy in the pool who can do shit like that consistently. He's one of the only guys who can just pull stuff out like that. It's kind of like a De La Vega situation, honestly, for them. Like, he is, I really think his talent level is pretty crazy. The famous run that he had against Mexico, where he went down the whole damn field dancing through the entire Mexican defense. There's just only so many guys in the world that can do stuff like that at any given time. So if you need someone to pull that out, I don't mind having him on the team. I mean, that's exactly why. We saw exactly why. I had to check that for a second. They were showing Berhalter. I was like, wait a minute, did Berhalter score that? Have I just been like talking up the wrong guy? No, it was Gio. It was Gio. All right, there you have it, folks. 4-1 to the USMNT. Let's just rip some takeaways, I guess. I mean, I don't really know like what else to say other than that was like a very, very, very good performance. That was good. Actively good, extremely good, really good goals. Paraguay offered very little resistance. They didn't stand a chance. That was, I was interested to see what that game was going to look like as far as like, is this going to look like, is this actually going to look like one team is way better than the other? Or is Paraguay going to be able to muck this up into looking more like a toss-up? And I was leaning more towards they're going to be able to make it look like a toss-up. It's the World Cup. It's Paraguay. They know what they're doing. They're going to be able to troll ball this into like a very close and uncomfortable game. They were not able to, not only were they not able to do that, they were not close to being able to do that. They were not in the ballpark of being able to do that. That was about as one-sided as it gets other than one pretty bad concession. But I'll tell you what, if the U.S. goes out there against Australia and plays like that, they should win that game. If they would go out against Turkey and play like that, they should be able to win that game. Unreal. I've never seen them like that. What a blessing. I've seen them like that, but like not in the World Cup and not consistently. And not when the cards are actually on the table. The cards are on the table right now. This is the World Cup. You are hosting. You are a host nation for the World Cup. If you can't go out there and get up for a game against Paraguay in a home World Cup, I don't know what we're talking about or what we're doing. They were up for it. They were up for it. So credit to the whole team. I got no notes. I got nothing negative to say about that, really. We got Tribe in the house now. All right, it's starting to pick up a little bit. Welcome in to everyone who's just tuning in. I've been streaming for 2 hours on this watch along, but now we're gonna just morph it, I guess, right into a post game show. Appreciate you all for tuning in. If everyone who's been tuning in the whole time could like the video, that'd be great. If you just tuned in and you could like the video, that would be great. Yeah, no, I kind of can't believe how good that looked. I was not expecting it to look that good. I think everyone who's followed this team for the last 5-10 years just kind of has grown accustomed to expecting, like, you guys know what I'm talking about, the kind of existential dread before these games sometimes where you're like, I want to believe, but like, I just don't. This is what I've been saying the whole time. The way you make people believe, it's not through anything other than going out there and playing like that and taking results like that, scoring goals. If you just go out there and do that, what we just saw them do, shuts everyone up, including myself. So the fact that they were able to do that, very encouraging. Very encouraging. And it's exciting that the next time they take the field is going to be in Seattle, and I'm going to be there in the press box. So that's pretty cool. And now that they went out there and they actually 4-1 Paraguay, it's like, okay, you have my attention, but more importantly, like, I think they're going to have the country's attention now. I think a lot of casuals who don't like follow the USMNT or follow the sport, but kind of just watch the World Cup, when you give them stuff like that to watch, that's how you like bring people back. That's how you get people locked in. I think the 2014 team, honestly, shout out to them, because that World Cup had that effect, like for sure on me, but also I think on a lot of people. Yeah, no, that felt like a Kind of felt like a step. And, you know, we'll see. They have to sustain it. If you go out there and you lose to Australia, this matters less. But I don't know. I think when I look at the Senegal friendly, the Germany friendly, and now this game, I just see a team that's just good. They're good at the sport now. Whereas in past years, they were not that. And no blackmail. If you're just joining the stream, we've been talking about this. The last World Cup, blackmail. A lot of it. Scandal. This World Cup, no blackmail so far. Gio, not only is Gio on the team, but he got in the game. He scored a goal. No blackmail. No blackmail scandal, 4 goals, only 1 conceded. It's good stuff. Disappointed our boy didn't get minutes. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, what? Why? Why not let him out there? They let Berhalter out there. He'll get his minutes. He will get his minutes. Not worried about that. Pochettino loves him. He called him a perfect player. Maybe it just wasn't the time. It really does feel like a completely different team from 2 months ago. That's the other thing. Like, I was so ready to come into this tournament clowning on them because if you remember the window before this last window, when they played Belgium and Portugal, they looked like shit. Horrible. Like, I clowned on them after those games about as much as I've clowned on them in the last couple of years, which is obviously saying a lot, but because it's like I came out of those friendlies and I was like, guys, you guys know that you have a World Cup in like 2 months or whatever? Like, are we processing this? You have the World Cup, home soil World Cup in like 3 months, and you're going to go out there and get 5-1 by Belgium and then be non-competitive against Portugal? What are we doing? And then they came out in these last 2 friendlies, looked kind of like gods, and then they just looked like gods against Paraguay. I didn't think they were going to lose 3 games and be embarrassing, but I was like, what reason do I have to think that they're going to do anything like of note, of worth? What are they going to win? Probably nothing. That's kind of how I felt. Now I'm watching this game today. I'm like, damn, you guys about to go to the semifinals? You look like a good team. I don't know how to handle that. If Pochettino has any courage, and we have any courage as a nation, as I stated earlier, if we live in a real country, which we obviously don't, but if we did, Christian would be starting in the Seattle game against Australia. He will play in that game. I know Pochettino knows the moment well enough for that. He will play in that game. And also, you know, based on my research into Australia, I don't know how much of a quality differential there is between them and Paraguay. If they're better, I don't think it's by like a crazy amount. They don't really have like top end talent, which the US kind of does now. Like Australia, when I'm look at Australia's roster and tell me if you see anyone as good as Pulisic, Weston McKennie, or Balogun. They're very well organized and they know how to make games difficult. But, you know, in theory, you could have said the same things about this Paraguay team and the US just diced them up like it was pretty much nothing. Like, point is, like, the Australia game is very winnable. The Turkey game is one of those ones where I'm like, I still just don't trust you guys to do this. But I think I'm like, look, I'm just looking at these highlights of this game now and these goals, man. I mean, this is good stuff. Even this own goal, Pulisic, McKennie off him, that was a good sequence. That was big time from Pulisic, big time from Weston. Balogun's second goal. That's one of the goals of the tournament so far. I know there's only been a couple games, but that might have been the best goal anyone scored so far. Watching the second one, that's another nice finish, but it was really all about that second Balogun goal. He scored the second goal of the game, then he scored his second goal, first half stoppage time. Let's watch this one again. Bodies off the defender, jukes another guy, top corner. That's just a great goal. That is a great goal. No doubt about it. All right, guys, I've been ripping for 2.5 hours, so I'm going to just take off on that. Thank you all for tuning in to the first ever Lobbing Scorchers World Cup watch along. Like I said, I wanted to just I wanted to lay this one down for the diehards. Obviously, there's a lot bigger channels than ours that are doing USMNT watch alongs, so definitely wasn't expecting like 100 people in here or anything. But I appreciate that we had consistent double digits throughout that whole thing. You guys are the best. Appreciate all the support. I'm about to check if there's any super chats that I missed. No, just the one from Caleb. Caleb, you're still watching. Sorry about Ballard FC, man. We are planning on going to the next one, but thank you for the support. Thank you, Wade. North Sound, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it was fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And even though it wasn't like super cracking or popping, glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm not going to be doing one of these for the Australian one because, as I said, I'm going to be at it. I'm in for all of these. I'm credentialed for all of these, except for Egypt, Iran, but I think I'm going to get into that too. It's just because it's like 2 weeks from now. So this is about to be a lit summer. I'm pumped up to actually get to cover some World Cup games in person. That's like a big milestone for me professionally, for sure. So we're for sure going to be ripping pods when we can. We're also, if any of you guys are trading card geeks, this is a good plug. Trading card people or Panini cards. You guys know the Panini cards? You know what I'm talking about? We're doing a Panini card like trading event at QED Coffee in West Seattle on Saturday the 20th at noon. I'm going to share this promo. Spread the word, mark your calendars. I know that some of you are Panini card nerds out there. World Cup sticker trading event hosted by Lobbing Scorchers, Saturday, June 20th, noon to 2 p.m., QED Coffee in West Seattle. Come hang out. Noah and I are both going to be there. I'm not a big Panini card guy, but I will still be there. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Like the video, sub to the channel, rate 5 stars. Follow me on Blue Sky. I'll let you guys know what's up with the rest of our World Cup coverage, but that was fun. 1, 2, 3, 4 big ones for the USMNT. Paraguay, get out of here. You guys are done. Great performance. Great goals. I feel like the World Cup is like, it's on now. It's on now. The games are going. The US got a big dub. It's time. Let's go. But all right. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Catch you next time. Peace.